Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Michelle's vlog. And again, she runs Conjugate. So this is one of those topics that has come up. I do get people who are like, do you still support Conjugate? And I put up Michelle's vlogs every single week doing Conjugate. So it seems like a rather interesting question. The answer is obviously yes, but I think only the people who watch these vlogs realizes that's the case. No, I think for competitive powerlifters, Conjugate can work great. And she's winning. She's qualified for Worlds already, and she's made progress, right? Now, again, for people who are like, but has she made that much progress in the last whatever months or year? But she's a weight class down, so I'm going to go with yes. Meaning, and we're not just a weight class anymore. She's now continued to drop more weight. So she is now walking around under her new weight class. So she is down something like 20 plus pounds at this point. Look at how small the waist has gotten, and yet we're still hitting the same sort of numbers. Okay, so that is absolutely a good thing. Plus, she's also fighting through some other stuff. I'm not going to go into her details, but a lot of people would have quit training completely, and yet here she is still hitting big numbers. So yeah, we are making progress. And sometimes that progress includes even time periods where you keep the strength that you have in circumstances to where people would be losing it. Okay? So what do our supplemental work look like on max effort day? It's very simple. We do normal wide grip benching. We do incline bench, right? We do pull-ups. We do tricep work. Okay? Now, for people who are like, she doesn't have a whole lot of back work, she does a ton of pull-ups, and we're at a point where I'm not worried about her back development. She does multiple sets of 15 pull-ups at this point, right? Put that into perspective. This is a submasters woman. She competes at the over 35, okay? She can do like 5 sets of 15 on pull-ups, full range of motion, double overhand. Do we really need more back work? I mean, and I do mean that as a very serious question. Do we actually need any more back work? And I'm going to go with no. I don't think that we do. Not in her case, right? We don't need it. She's doing great. Now, if I followed my own advice, I would probably cut my rows out too and replace it with more bicep work. But me personally, I just can't leave the back training alone, even though it's my dominant body part. What do you do? All right, triceps. You see where her tricep strength is. We're in a good spot. This is what she does with JM presses. It's her version of the JM press. A lot of people argue about how to correctly perform a JM press. Subject of massive debate. You'll see top level coaches, world level coaches performing on this extreme like this, which is almost just a closed grip bench to the neck. And you'll see others doing it almost like a skull crusher and still calling it a JM press. What do you do? All right, one arm leg raises, one of her favorite core exercises. So for those curious, she actually trains 6 days a week. I program her for 4, let her do her own ab work, and here she throws some clips in. She's decided that she needs the extra 2 days, and she just programs those herself as a trainer, because she is a trainer herself, and is what she does. So I let her program the other 2. Now, normally, if it was one of my other clients, I would be throwing a fit. And people need to understand that. So I want people to understand the average person. I do not endorse them training 6 days a week. She is not my average client. She needs it for psychological purposes. She needs it for medical purposes, everything else. She's put statuses on her wall, so I don't think she minds that, of when people said she trains too much. She says she does right. My doctors think I should be training every day, and they're perfectly fine with me doing more. She has benefits to it, medical benefits to training as much as possible, as long as she can recover, and so she does. So when we make those statements, people do need to understand the amount of training she does has literally been signed off on and encouraged by her doctors. So Again, this is not a normal situation. She's an extreme athlete with extreme needs, and her own things going on. So for a context for that, again, I wouldn't always necessarily tell the average person to train like she does, because I put her through a pretty rigorous conjugate training like you guys are seeing here 4 days a week. Okay? And then she does 2 like full body workouts on the weekends, where she's coming in and doing all sorts of other movements. I see her doing decline benching, tricep press downs and stuff. She's at a point now to where she's like, I'm not even doing any cardio. She used to do an hour of conditioning a day. She doesn't do it anymore because her weight training is enough to get everything done that she needs to get done. So we just run with it, right? We run with it. All right. So max effort day, we did a deadlift, and we do leg presses, and we do split squats, right? Trying to really hammer those quads. Quads and glutes for her are a big deal. They really are what are going to determine our squat and deadlift for her at this point. Again, her back isn't a limit on the deadlift. She does sets of 15 on pull-ups. We of course do posterior chain work. We put a little more focus on those quads and everything, but we still do posterior chain. So we do glute ham raises, which you guys know I'm a big fan of. I have a love-hate relationship with these, all right? And then we do band pull-throughs. I do those because she doesn't have a reverse hyper. I get people who are like, well, I don't have a reverse hyper, so they try to do makeshift reverse hypers and all this. It doesn't work. You're not going to replicate a reverse hyper with that one. Just stop. Just quit. It's a reason it's patented. If you're trying to get anything even close, just do band or cable pull-throughs. And I think bands work great for this. My opinion, says me. Okay. I'm not saying it's a magic modality, but there is something about bands with this movement and that over-speed eccentric, which I want to jerk you back down, right? Fighting against the glutes. Then, of course, we have our dynamic days, which look very similar. We do pretty much the same supplemental lifts minus the pause benching. So we do speed bench, rotating grips, and then we do her same supplemental work. For dynamic lower days, we don't do boxes for her. We just do normal squats at this point. She just does normal speed squats, right? And we do high sets for low reps, short breaks. She does speed pulls, and then she does her same supplemental work that we do on the other day. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.